Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do an unboxing and review on the new K-Duo Essentials from KEURIG. So my Walmart was clearance in these, and I'm not sure why. This is the new special edition color. They call it MoonLight Gray. Again, I found this back on the clearance aisle. It was out normally for $100. You can see where it says $100. Don't be confused. This is pretty close to this one. I'm going to do a comparison video with the original K-Duo Essentials black one, but this is the new one. And basically it just says new color. Okay, so it's kind of big. It's really big to get out of that box. It's got a pretty nice color. I definitely would agree with MoonLight Gray. It's kind of a lighter colored gray. Looks real nice. I do feel cheated. This is supposed to be metal on this carafe handle, but it's not. Maybe that's why they're discounting it. If we go around back, this is where the water reservoir is. Come around front. This is where the K-cup, so we can do a K-cup, and we can brew a pot of coffee. There's a filter basket. We got to put a filter in there. We got the controls. We can do K-cup or a carafe. We can do 12 cups, 10 cups, 8 cups on the coffee pot side, or we can do 8, 10, or 12 ounces on the K-cup side. It does have a drip tray. And one of the trickiest parts is getting this filter basket in. So again, these are only available at Walmart. This is the K-Duo Essentials. I'm going to put a link. Check out my other video. KEURIG makes they make three different K-Duos. And I think there are some that are better than this one. This is kind of their cheaper version made for Walmart. They've got just a standard K-Duo without the word Essentials. Then they've got a K-Duo Plus, which I think is a really nice coffee maker. Check out that video. I've got all three, and I compare the benefits of all three of them. Comes with a scoop. Let's look at the bottom. So it says it's 120 volts, 60 hertz, 1,470 watts. And they give it kind of a K-Duo Essentials 5,000. That's kind of a model number they give it. But it's got these rubber feet here and here. Looks like there should be one there, but there's not, maybe. So the water tank back here is designed to come off. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of this hard plastic. It is designed to come off. It's a little awkward to hold, to fill up. Usually you should probably use something else to fill this up with. It's got these tracks that slide on here. So let's look at the carafe. It's got a hinged lid. It's pretty nice. It is 12 cups. Now this does have a warming plate. This warming plate will keep your coffee warm when it's done. I've got the water tank full. It does have a max 12, 10, 8. It's got some markings on this side. And there's the minimum amount. You can add a water filter. It takes the short handle water filter. I've got a separate video on that. So the first thing they want you to do is they want you to wash these parts with soap and water, just in case there was any manufacturing stuff on them. Same with the carafe. Wash it with soap and water. And the water reservoir. Wash it out with soap and water, then fill it up. So we're going to do some fresh water rinses first. Again, this can be tricky. You got to put this in like that, and then that's got to be perfectly flush right there, or it won't slide in. It won't slide in until it snaps. Again, no filter, no coffee right now. We're just going to do a fresh water rinse. I've got it plugged in. So first, let's do a freshwater rinse on the K-cup side. We're not going to put a K-cup in here. Again, there's the needles. Be careful, it's kind of hidden underneath this. Close this. Make sure you got a mug. We're going to hit this. This is the K-cup side. Hit this button. Then we're going to select the 8 ounce. So that lit up green, that lets us know we're doing the K-cup side. If I would have hit the carafe side, it would have started the coffee pot side, but we're going to do that next. So you may not get a bunch of water because it's got a prima pump on the inside. So you can hear kind of the pump running. So the pump ran for quite a while. It sucked down a bunch of water. Now it's heating it up, and then it's going to shoot it through here and do a freshwater rinse. And while it's heating, this is pulsing on and off. Still, I haven't got anything out yet. Okay, so now it's starting to make a lot of noise. You can hear the water boiling in there. Okay, so now it turns the pump back on, and I've got fresh water coming out that's really hot. Be careful, this is really hot. And that's a freshwater rinse on the K-Cup side. We're going to do the same thing on the craft side next. Okay, so it kind of makes a little noise towards the end. Okay. So that's how much we still have to the 8 mark. So let's do a freshwater rinse on the craft side. Again, make sure this is installed with that, because that has to press up on that plunger right there so the coffee can come out. That all has to be installed. That's called pause brewing. So when you take the carafe out, see that pushes that up. But then when you take it out, it pops down and stops the coffee from coming out. But you can't do that very long, then you've got to put it back in. So we're going to hit the coffee pot side, and now we're going to do the 8. And then it's going to run the water through on this side. So it didn't take long for the water to start coming through. So left to right, this is about 11 inches. Front to back is about 12 inches. There is no cord storage, and it's a 3-prong plug. So with the handle raised, it's about 16, almost 17 inches. So this will fit under a kitchen cabinet. Kitchen cabinets are about 19 inches. So this slides out to the front so it doesn't lift up. You got to get access back here for the water tank a little bit. So right now that light is green and that's red. What's going to happen when it finishes brewing 8 cups through here, this light's going to switch to red. That means the warming plate is still on. So that when that switches to red, you don't have to hit anything, just leave it alone. It'll automatically switch to red. That's to let you know the warming plate is on. And the warming plate will shut off automatically after 2 hours. So you don't have to do anything to the coffee maker. After 2 hours, that red light will eventually shut off. But if you finish with your coffee and you want to just turn it off, just press that. When it's red, press that, and it'll turn it off automatically. Because there really is no on-off button for this machine. And again, they give you, this is a really nice, this is very simple, except it's reversed. The craft is over here. You think they'd put the craft directions here, pod directions here, but, so yeah, you just hit the craft button, how many ever cups you want, and then it talks about here, when illuminated red, the heating plate is on. So you can power it off by holding one of those buttons. It normally just powers down by itself. But if you want to do a K-Cup, you hit the pod, 8, 10, or 12 ounces. So check out my descaling videos. This thing does not let you know that it's time to descale. And with KEURIG machines, it's very important. If you've got really hard water to keep up on the descaling procedure, you can use white vinegar or the KEURIG descaling solution. I've got a video on each one, how to do it. And you should do that about every 3 months. Okay, so that didn't take long. That took about 6 or 7 minutes. We're just right to the 8-cup mark. See how that turned red? That means that that warming plate is going to stay on. So if I want to turn, that'll go off after 2 hours, or I can just press and hold it, and it turns it off. So now I've just turned the heating plate off. But we can see all we did was run fresh water through. We're gonna do a K-Cup first, and then I'm gonna do a pot of coffee. So fill your water reservoir back up. So again, what's nice, this just takes any standard K-Cup. Now K-Cups have 2 tablespoons of coffee grounds in them. You really can't get any more than that in there. If you look at the box, most boxes don't tell you what to brew it on. I brew my K-Cups on 8 ounces. You can brew it on 10 or 12. Again, that just will be pretty watered down. But if you like the taste, that's fine. So we're just going to lift the handle. Again, there is a sharp needle down there. We simply just place the K-Cup in. It's going to do all the work. It's going to pierce the bottom needle and the top one as I close it. There we go. We press the ounce button because we want a K-Cup side, 8, and then I'm going to press the 8. So it's kind of noisy at first. This is one of the noisier KEURIG machines. But in about 20 seconds, you do start to get some coffee. And you end up with about a 165 degree cup of coffee. They do recommend stirring these, but that's a really good K-cup coffee. So you're going to lift the handle. Be careful, these can be hot, but you've got to grab it. And it pierces the bottom and it pierces the top. Shoots the hot water in the top and the coffee comes out the bottom. Now let's do the coffee pot side. So you can bring this out. That is kind of a weak area right there, but we can let it sit there. You're going to need 8 to 12 cup basket style coffee filters. Now make sure you grab just one filter. It's kind of tricky just to grab one, but put it in there. Make sure it's hugging the walls. It's okay if it's getting wet like that. Okay, so let me explain. This scoop seems complicated, but it's not. So you'll see it says 1 scoop, which is the 1 over here, equals 1 cup of coffee. Maximum 15, so you can make it a little strong. You could put 15 scoops in there, but normally when we do a 12 cup pot of coffee, you just put 12 of these in there. Decaf, they said you should use the max is 12. Now this side, it's big. It's twice as big. It's got 2 scoops. So basically, you can hurry the process up and go 2, 4, 6, or you can do just 1. And if you lose this is just 1 tablespoon. That's a pretty standard ratio. 1 tablespoon per cup you're going to brew. So we only have 3 options for the coffee pot side. It's only going to brew 8, 10, or 12. We can't get a 6 or a 4. So let's look at the carafe side here. So all our options, our smallest pot we can do is 8, 10, or 12. Some drip coffee makers, you can do it as low as 4, 6. They brew whatever water so in a normal drip coffee maker, it normally brews whatever water you put in the back. This actually has a pump and it just takes out what it needs. So if you're going to do a full 12 pots, make sure you've got it filled up to the 12. I'm just going to do 8. So I've got plenty of water to do an 8-cup pot of coffee. So it just takes coffee that's at a medium grind. A lot of it doesn't say medium grind, but it's for just a normal drip coffee maker. There's what a medium grind looks like. So we've got our filter in. I'm going to do 8, so I need 8 of these, but I'm going to use the 2 side. So 1 or 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so that just hurried it up. If I was going to press the 12 button, I would make sure and put 12 tablespoons in here. If you wanted a little strong, you could. Remember, it says you could go to 15. I typically don't do that. 12 is plenty strong for me, but 8's the minimum you can do. So we've got our coffee in. We just make sure this snaps. And it's very simple. Make sure your carafe is empty. Make sure the lid is on. You're going to come up here, hit the carafe side, and then you just hit the 8 button. And then it starts heating the water right away. You'll hear it first heating the water, and then it's going to turn a pump on. Then that pump's going to send the water over the coffee and come out the bottom. So this is a pretty quick coffee maker. It's quicker than 1 cup a minute. So you see there, we've got coffee coming in. And again, it's got that pause brewing. So if I want to grab a quick cup of coffee, I can pull this out. That plunger comes down and stops the coffee from coming out. I can pour a quick cup, but I got to put this back right away or it will start overflowing. And then once I put it back, it just continues the coffee process. So I'm trying to get the temperature of the coffee coming out. It's about 185. It's a little hard to see. That's 190, 191. So this is after it's gone through the coffee. You do get a little bit of steam coming out right here. Nothing too bad. Now, while it's doing this coffee maker side, you cannot do a K-cup. So I would do your K-cup first and then your coffee pot, or let the coffee pot finish and then you can do a K-cup. And the coffee maker is not super loud. You hear a pump pretty much the whole time, but you hear the heating element kind of It boils the water for a little bit, and then it stops, and then it boils it, so it's not super loud. Okay, so it's done. That took about 6 minutes. It's actually a pretty quick coffee maker. It's got just a little bit dripping back in, but my switch turned to red. That means the warming plate is on. That'll go off after 2 hours. All right, so let's see how the carafe pours. Actually pours pretty good. Again, just be careful, that is hot. So we get a cup of coffee that's really hot, about 172. So let's just see if we can see how hot that is. So anywhere from right in the middle is about 300. Ooh, it gets cooler, 316. The farther you go out towards the edge, but yeah, that's really, really hot. So let's see how this did. See, did really good. Didn't overflow. The water did not overflow the basket. That's how you get coffee grounds into your coffee. Looks like it did a pretty good job with the coffee grounds. So cleanup's pretty simple. You can take this over to your trash can. It's not going to drip because you've got that. And you can dump out your coffee grounds and your filter. So unfortunately, they say these are not dishwasher safe. I think you might be able to do it in the top rack. I'm not sure, but you're supposed to hand wash these, hand wash the carafe, hand wash the reservoir once in a while. So yeah, this is a pretty nice coffee maker. That's a really good deal if you can find it for $50. Normally they used to be $100, which I thought was a little too much. I have seen the black ones. The black ones like this one, they're down to around 70 or 80, which isn't too bad. 50 is actually a really good deal. And check out my next video. I'm going to compare it with the black one. We're going to see just what's different. And again, check out my D-scale video. I've got how to clean the needles. We can take out this lower needle basket and clean it. And if you want to use a reusable K-cup on the K-cup side, I show you how to do that. Thanks everybody for watching. If you could, please like and subscribe.